Hi, my name is Margaret Paulson, otherwise known as Marge Paulson because my husband's name was Virgil, so we were Virg and Marge Paulson. And I've been a member since, I have my program from when I first joined the church. That was when it was on a Palm Sunday on April 7th, 1968, when Reverend Sholey was the pastor at Peace Church.
Marge, you want to tell us your Peace Church history?
Peace Church history.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, apparently I came to Peace Church because I have two daughters, one born in 61 and another one born in 62. And I had friends who were their sponsors back in southern Indiana, where I'm from, at Zion United Church of Christ in Mount Vernon, Indiana. So they were baptized there. And so that's why Andrew was the first one to be baptized at Peace Church, because we had sponsors from here in Duluth, Minnesota. So, and now it seems like such a long time ago because Drew isn't even with us anymore. He died last year in March, very unexpectedly and too soon. I think he was on his way to be Grandpa Daycare in Missoula, Montana. He still lived at his cabin in Black Hawk, Colorado. So that was a sad time for us. But on the other hand, I talked to him on the phone. We didn't actually see each other in person that much. I can't remember. I know they were down on a July 4th one time because my daughter Loretta always has a 4th of July picnic, and I know that he was here with my granddaughter Amanda, and he was here and her husband was here. So, and they also have a nice little great grandson out of Missoula, Montana now, whose name is Jameson Virgil.
Nice.
And I'm going to forget his last name. Excuse.
What was Peace Church like back in 1968 when you joined?
Well, I remember Sholey and I remember Greg Flint. I know he was there for like 12 years, I think. And I remember he announced when he was leaving during a morning service. And I don't think there was a dry eye in the congregation because everybody really liked him a lot. And I guess he's retired now, so he fulfilled his duties. Seems like I heard stories that he was going to be a doctor when he first started going to college, and then he changed it to be a career pastor. So that was kind of a change. And I remember Sue, his wife, and I think my daughters maybe babysat for them, or one of them babysat for him a few times. So yeah, good memories of Greg Flint. And I think he married the youngest daughter. I think he was still here in 62 because they just celebrated their 40th anniversary here now. So
what was going on at that time? What kind of activities were going on at the church? Do you have any memories of any of that? Of what you were involved in?
My girls were in Sunday school, and Drew too, after he came along. And I know Drew even went to the daycare center there. One of the pastor's wives did that, Reverend Stark, I believe. I think it was Betty Stark that started having a daycare center there. And I remember that was good. I remember they got to go skiing, and he always loved skiing. But he also loved other sports that are dangerous, and so he shattered a leg one time when they were biking out on the sand dunes in Arizona or wherever they are. So he never skied much after that.
Marge, were you part of the circles?
Yes, there was Martha Circle that I belonged to, and I think there was another circle that was Lydia Circle. And I believe we met in the evening. I know I was secretary of that for a while. And we planned the bazaars, or worked on the bazaars and until we didn't have enough people that were crafty anymore, I guess, or didn't have time to be crafty. And I remember the rummage sales too. I think we probably worked for a week getting that stuff ready in the fellowship hall. So
the purpose of the circles, what was the purpose?
I don't know. For me, it was just to get together once a month and be responsible for certain things. I can't remember what else we did. I remember when Bev Morris was there, they did a dinner once a month when the committees and everybody met. I didn't really have anything to do with that. Particularly, that was just a couple of gals that would do these dinners. And I think they continue that. It's a different setup now than it was then, I believe. But
I still remember Bev Morris's hamburger buns.
oh, do you?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
quite a baker.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her for some time now either. She's alone in her house and with all the stuff that her husband had out there. But I know her one daughter lives real close, so, and the other ones are around too.
What else have you been involved in? I know the circles kind of evolved into Brown Bag. Have you been a part of
No.
that?
Yeah, I've been a member of the Brown Bag for some time. I don't go now because I have to get a ride from somebody, and so I gave up my car about 3 years ago, I guess. So that's a big different life.
What is the Brown Bag?
Well, one lady mistakenly said she just thought it was the old ladies club.
Old bags.
Or the old bags. I don't know, it's just a time where we get together and we used to be able to share our lunch. We'd bring our lunch and share that, and then somebody was designated to bring dessert. We'd enjoy dessert and then just talk about some particular topic, whatever.
Remember who led it?
Well, I remember Cheryl Walsh.
Right.
And then I think Pastor Kathy did it after she started another one at somebody that lived in Lenox.
At the Benedictine,
More.
I think.
Well, no, it was, Marlis Cran's daughter. I can't think of her first name now.
Ginny?
Lori.
Lonnie
Lonnie
Cran.
Yes.
Yeah.
She had
And Cheryl met with them.
That's right. Yeah. with
Yeah.
Lennox.
Yeah, so.
And I know you were a big part of the Peace Bell folding crew.
Yeah, I guess I've always been a member of that.
Yes.
Because the church that I attended in Indiana, guess who did the church newsletter? The youth fellowship group did.
Oh, really?
We had a leader that somehow decided we could do that, and we would type these stencil things and whatever and put a picture on the front, and
Oh, sure.
we'd do the voice of Zion.
Oh, really?
And then we'd get together and run it off and staple it together, I guess. And I don't remember mailing it right away. I think you had to come to church to pick one up or something. I don't know if they mailed it later or not. Anyway.
So what has your involvement at Peace Church meant to you over the years?
Well, it's just been a continuation of the way I grew up. And was just always a good group of people to see every Sunday morning and occasionally on some evenings, and it just helped get me through life, I think.
Do you have any other memories of your time at Peace that you want to share?
Yeah, it seems like the ladies of the used to get together. We had some gathering. I don't know if it was for all the women in the church. Seems like we had that around Christmas time or something.
Christmas luncheon.
Christmas luncheon or something.
And it
And,
was a salad luncheon.
and I remember a lot of good potlucks and all that. It was hard to get used to having no food at all for quite a while.
Well, you knew your way around the kitchen there. You helped a lot with funerals and things like that.
I would help with that. I was there when Nettie Bothwell was the chairperson, and now I think Kathy Emile is doing it, isn't she? Yeah. So got to be a part of that and felt useful and gave other people rides. I remember giving one gal a ride. I can't remember her name now, that lived down at Graceland Plaza. And one time I know she said, I don't know if I should continue doing this. I said, well, if I didn't pick you up, then I wouldn't have anybody to come to church with. so she did. Well, she's the only one I remember, and I can't remember her name right now. I just remember where she lived.
Can you think of one word that kind of characterizes or describes Peace Church for you?
Inclusive, I guess. I remember Dory Godden suggesting that I join the Martha Circle. I remember that. I know that she reached out, and so what year that was, I don't remember, but I always had good feelings about Dory. Yeah, she had issues that she dealt with too, but was happy to be a part of Peace Church. In fact, I think when we were short of money or something one time, they actually took out a loan on their house or something to give some money. I don't know that for sure if that's documented or anywhere, but I remember some of that. It wasn't just like, well, what can I do? Bake a cake?
Well, you've made a lot of good friends.
Yeah, yes, I have. Yeah, and so even, when we weren't getting together there for a while, it was good to receive these little cards from some of the once younger people that were now doing the things that we used to do, I guess. So it was real nice to be remembered that way.